Good afternoon, everyone. So, welcome back to this live session for the course The Joy of Computing Using Python. So, as all of you, as I believe many of you would be aware by now, we are having these weekly live sessions in order to solve some of the previous year's assignment questions. So every week in this course, we have a quiz, which is basically 10 MCQ questions and a few programming assignment questions. So the aim of these weekly live sessions, which are held every Saturday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., is to solve some of the questions from the previous year of this course. So, and those previous year's questions will basically help you in solving and understanding the concepts used for this year's assignment problems. So someone is saying that voice is very low. Okay, wait, let me fix this. Let me see. Hello, is it any better? Nalini, I think you were facing some issues with my voice. Is my voice clear now?
Yeah, actually, it's the same for me now. Still, maybe headphones I need to.
Is anyone else facing an issue?
For others, it's okay.
I have tried boosting up my audio a little bit. So others, if it is fine, could you just type in the chat box yes or no based on whether my audio is fine or not? Voice is fine, someone is saying. Okay, so Nalini, maybe you try disconnecting your audio and reconnecting your audio once. That would probably solve the issue. Okay, so yeah, so I was just giving a brief intro about these live sessions and what they are meant for before we actually proceed with today's task. So I'm Radhika Prasad, and okay, someone is saying video is very bad. Okay, this I feel that this is because many people join and then something happens to the Zoom bandwidth. If you go to the YouTube channel, then the video over there is perfectly fine. So Vidya, I would suggest that if your bandwidth is a little bit low, you log in through YouTube Live. So yeah, as I mentioned YouTube Live, so we have a YouTube channel where we live stream every week's session. So let me just put up the link to the YouTube channel in the chat box. So this is the link to the YouTube channel. I've put it up on the chat box. This is the channel where we conduct these live sessions and they are uploaded over there. So you can go ahead and check that channel out. And every week you will find the video for that particular week's session. And if you happen to miss any of these sessions, then no worries. That video will be there forever on YouTube. And you can go ahead and watch those videos at any point of time according to your own convenience. So this particular week, since this is week 5, so we will be basically discussing the assignment 5 problems from previous year, and the deadline for assignment 5 is sometime in the next week. So I believe this will be helpful for you. So yes, I have read this message. Someone is having some issue in the fizz buzz problem. Can you just unmute yourself and ask exactly what is the issue that you are facing in fizz buzz?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, hello.
Ma'am, I'm having problem in while printing fizzbuzz when a number is divisible by 5 as well as with 3.
Mm-hmm.
It is printing fizzbuzz. Why it is printing fizzbuzz? I don't understand.
Okay, so the fizz buzz game is that if it is a multiple of only 3, then it prints fizz. If it is a multiple of only 5, then it prints buzz. But if it is a multiple of both 3 and 5, then it prints fizzbuzz. This is the fizzbuzz game. Do you understand this much part?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now what is your issue?
Ma'am, in the first step, the code was written in the video. It was wrong. But
Initially.
So, ma'am, in the next coding, they print made the changes in the code. So how it is printing, I don't understand that.
Okay, so the thing is, based on how you what the sequence of your if else condition is, based on that the code will actually run. Okay, so if you are checking first for only 3, then your computer runs sequentially. Okay, it does not jump and go to the next line. It goes sequentially, line by line. So if at first, let's say your first if condition is that I need to check whether it is a multiple of 3 or not, then it will check if it's a multiple of 3. If yes, then it will execute some part of the code. If not, then it will go to the else part of the code. And in that else part, you can have like a nested if. So if your first condition is to only check for multiple of 3, then every time it sees that this is a multiple of 3, it will print fizz and it will not go to the else part. So this is wrong, because when you encounter multiple of 3 and 5, you want fizzbuzz to be the output and not just fizz. Similarly, if your first if condition is to check only if it is a multiple of 5, then it will print buzz whenever it is a multiple of 5 or both 3 and 5. But you want that for 3 and 5, it should be fizzbuzz. So what you will do, you will first check whether your number is a multiple of both 3 and 5. If that is the case, then you will print fizzbuzz. And then if this is not the case, if it is not a multiple of both 3 and 5, then you will go to the else part and check if it is a multiple of only 3 or if it is a multiple of only 5. Is this little bit better?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and if you have any more questions, like if you are still struggling, then what you can do is you can ask in the discussion forum. And other than that, you can also have my email ID. Let me provide my email ID. So these are I think I've written, yeah, this is my email ID. So you have 3 channels for clarifying your doubts. First one and most important one is the discussion forum. If that is not working out or something, then the second thing is the YouTube channel. Like you post questions on the YouTube channel. That's the second. And the third one is, if that is also not working, then you send an email to me. So I have provided the links to all these things. So I have given the link to my YouTube channel as well as I have written my email ID for you. So if you have any more questions, you can always access these 3 main forums for clarifying your doubts. I hope this solves your problem, Satsangi. Okay, so we will proceed. Before we proceed actually to this week 5, last week Nalini had asked a very interesting question. So let me go down. So last week Nalini had asked a very interesting question about how we can run blocks of code in Spyder. Okay, and I did not really have a very concrete answer to it at that particular point of time, but now I do have an answer. So I will answer Nalini's question from last week. In fact, I have put up the answer even on the YouTube channel, on the YouTube video. So you can even watch the previous week's YouTube video and I have written down the answer over there. But here I would like to maybe give a live demo of how this can be done. So let me go to my Spyder. So this is the aim. I hope this is clear. So Nalini had asked last week that if we can run separate blocks of code in Spyder separately. That means we have, let's say, some set of 4 to 5 lines and we want to run that only instead of a full 50-line code. So let's say we have a code which has 50 lines, but we want to run only 5 lines out of those 50 lines, if that is possible or not. So turns out it is indeed possible. So I will give a quick demo of that. So let me go to my Spyder. Okay, ignore this code. Let me open a new Spyder terminal. Okay, new file. So let me make it a little bit big. So you use Control plus to make it big. So that's what I have done. So let us say I want to do some, let me just write some random stuff. Okay. Okay, let's say this is one. I'm just writing some random code. Okay, so here this code is just randomly some lines. So I'm taking two numbers, I'm adding them. Okay, I should call this, let's say S for sum, D for difference. So let's say I have this code, and let's say I want to add some loop also. Some for loop, some very simple stuff I'm writing, nothing fancy. Just to demonstrate how we can run separate blocks of code. And then let's say I want to know the square root of some number. So let's say okay, so let's say I have this some few lines code over here, and I want to run this code. But as Nalini wanted, I want to run, let's say, separate lines of code in this. Let's say I want to only run this line number 15 and 16. Now, if you notice that if I just run line number 15 and 16, how I can do that? So if you go to the Spyder, then on top, this green button is the run button. That means this will run complete file. It says run file. That means it will run all the 20 lines of code that we have written, 21 lines over here. The next one to the right side of it says run current cell. And more, even more right, if we go, it says run current cell and go to the next one. And then this one, which has an I written and a triangle, this is run selection or current line. So I've selected line number 15 and 16. So I can run this. I can say run this selection or current line, and you will notice that it will throw up error. Why it throws up error? Because I ran only these two lines and my variables S and D have not yet been basically assigned any value. So it says print S, print D, but these lines have not yet been executed. So it will, as a result, this line 15 and 16 throws error. Now, if we run these lines, let's say I want to run these four lines, this selection, I will go to this run selection. And let's say now I run this. Okay, so it executes. And now if I run 15 and 16 line, then it will show me the answer. See, A plus B is 3 and A minus B is minus 1. Okay, so this is how you can basically run separate lines or separate selections. And there is one more neat way of doing it. So this is current selection that I've done. So, and the other way is to make cells. So you see that just to the right of this run button is run current cell. So how you can do that is, let's say I want to run this particular cell. Okay, so I will make a cell by using hash %%. Okay, this makes it a cell. Okay, now I want this thing to be another cell. So everything below that hash %% is a new cell. Okay, so that means this is a cell, and you can see if I click on this, then it closes that cell. If I unclick on it, then it opens up that cell and I see. So now if I am in this particular cell, I can say run current cell. Okay, so this button is there, run current cell. I will click that, and you see it runs only this current cell. of the for loop. It did not do this print s, print d, adding and subtracting, okay? It did not do any of these. It just ran this particular for loop. So we have seen how to run a selection, we have seen how to run a cell, and if you use the normal run file, then it will execute the entire code. So if we do just run file once, you see the entire code is executed. First it prints a plus b, then it prints a minus b, then it runs the for loop, and then it gives you square root of 2. So that's how this you can basically run separate blocks of code in Spyder. So I hope this question this solves Nalini's doubt from last week, and now we will proceed to the current week's assignment. Okay, so we are back. So just give me a second. Okay, so Spyder closed. Now we are back in this. Let me come back to my Zoom. So yeah, I hope this is clear, Nalini. Now you have a good idea as to how you can implement something like like Jupyter notebooks inside Spyder. Okay, so someone is saying, Shashikant is saying, can I ask a question from past week? Sure, Shashikant, what is the question? I have made the code and my logic was okay, but I want to do it recursively. So if you can suggest. Sure, Shashikant, you can use any kind of logic that you think of. There is no hard and fast rule as to what particular logic you have to use. Should I share the code here? Sure, Shashikant, you can share the code here, or you can put it up on the discussion forum. So let me just write it in the chat box. What are your basically where you can seek help? So first one is the discussion forum, second one is the YouTube channel, and the third one is my email ID. So Shashikant, you can definitely share the code here. And if not, these are your 3 channels for seeking help. You should definitely make as much good use of these 3 channels, especially the discussion forum and the YouTube channel, as much as possible. So I will try and have a look at it. So Bala is also asking something. So Shashikant, you can put your code here if you want, but I would suggest that you first go to the discussion forum, then to the YouTube channel, and then send an email to me. If you follow this process in this particular order, that will be much better. Okay, wait, Bala is asking some question. Can we also use triple quotes to execute particular line, ma'am? No, Bala, triple quotes is used for comments, okay? You see in my Spyder, okay, let me go back to my Spyder. Triple quotes is for comments that will not execute anything. If you write anything between triple quotes, then nothing will get executed because Python thinks of it as a comment. You see in this, Bala, this thing is written over here, created on Saturday, 25th February, this thing, author RP IIT, that's my initials, and I'm at IIT, that's why. So you see this, it's within triple quotes, like 1, 2, 3, you see? 1, 2, 3. It's within triple quotes, and this is a comment. So this is a comment, and it will not be executed. So no, you cannot use triple quotes. Okay, good question. Fine. Let me see if there is any other question. Okay, someone is saying quiz 3, assignment 1, Q6, answer should be 0, but it is showing incorrect, ma'am. So if you are asking for this current year's assignment problem, if there is some typographical error or some incorrect marking scheme that has been come up with, then I strongly suggest that you please put it up on the discussion forum. The good thing about the discussion forum is that the instructors are also over there. So I am just a TA. So and like me, there are many other TAs. And other than us TAs, the instructors are also there on the discussion forum, and they will have a look at this thing if you are saying that there is something incorrect. So I strongly suggest, I guess Soumyadeep is having this question, that you please put it up on the discussion forum. Okay. So let us come back to our current week's task. I hope everything else from the past week is clear. If not, then please put it up on the discussion forum on the YouTube channel and send me an email. Okay, so someone was saying something about recursion or something. Who was that? So, Shashi, you want to ask something about some recursion? If you want to ask something right now, you can unmute yourself and ask. Okay, something is there in the chat box. Okay, this is really big, Shashi. I don't think immediately I will be able to have a look at it. You please put it up on the... This is for what code? You are doing something with lists, something with items. Actually, this is past week assignment. Achha, this is the assignment question. Okay, so Shashi, please put it up on the discussion forum and do send me an email. I will definitely have a look at this. So anything about the assignments, current week's assignments, something incorrect or something you are facing some problem, please, it's like my request, please do put it up on the discussion forum. That is very helpful, because the instructors themselves will come and solve your questions. So right now I'm like a medium, I'm like in between the instructor and you, like I'm a TA. So definitely please send put it up on the discussion forum and do send me an email. So whenever I am free, I do respond to emails, by the way. Quite a lot of students have sent me uh, emails regarding with screenshots of code and things not working and so on and so forth. And I make it a point to respond to each and every email. So till date, I have responded to every question that has been sent to me on email. So in that way, yeah, I am trying to put an effort. So yeah, right now I don't think I'll be able to look at this thing and solve it immediately for you. So please use these channels. Okay, so thanks Shashi. I will copy this code and I will have a look at it. Let me just copy this thing and I will have a look at it and then I will get back to you. So just give me a second. Let me copy paste this code. Yeah, where is my Spyder? Okay, here's my Spyder. Okay, so I will try it and then I will get back to you. Cool. So let us begin. Okay, Mohit is asking, ma'am, what is the use of end equal to space in Python? Okay, Mohit, this is used inside for loops. So whenever you run a for loop in Python and if you have a print statement inside the for loop, then every line comes, like every print statement comes as a new line. Like it gets executed in the new in a new line. And if you write this end equal to and then inside the quotes this space, then what happens is your output gets printed in the same line. So that is the use of using that end equal to in Python. I hope this is clear. Okay, fine. So let me start today's okay, Bala, what is \n in Python? So \n is to go to a new line. So when you have a print statement and you have, let's say you have a paragraph to print and you want to go to the next line, then you use \n, then it cuts over there and goes to the next line. So that's the use of \n. So in fact, it is very good. Okay, so Mohit asked a question in which one wants to print everything in the same line. So Mohit's code will print everything in the same line, and Bala has asked a question in which things will get printed in the new line, because \n is to create a new line, and end equal to inside quotes space is to prevent new line formation. So yeah, it's interesting that both of you have asked this question one after the other. So nice. So let us start now finally with this week's assignment. So in this week, the focus has been to introduce a new data structures to all of you. And this new data structure is called dictionary. So in the previous weeks, you would have seen a data structure called list. So we have been working extensively with lists now. So in this week, we were introduced to the concept of dictionary as a data structure. So that's what these questions are. So let me start a poll for the first question. Okay, so I have started a poll for the first question. So the first question says, what is the syntax to create a dictionary? So you have to select the correct syntax to create a dictionary. So all of you would have watched the video, and I'm sure all of you will get it right. If not, I will definitely answer it. So just take a few seconds to answer this question. Okay, it's my request that people please mute themselves, like unless and until you have some question to ask, then only unmute yourself. If you do not have any question to ask, then it's like my sincere request that please keep yourself muted. Otherwise it creates a lot of unnecessary disturbance, and it's probably not the best thing. So yeah, please try to keep yourself muted unless and until you want to ask some question. Okay, so let me close this poll. We are done with this poll, and let me share the results of the poll. Okay, just give me a minute. Where is the sharing of the poll? Okay, yeah, most of you have got it right. And for those of you who did not get it right, let me now tell you what the answer is. So the correct answer is option B. So option B is what you use to create a dictionary. So this is the correct way to create a dictionary. And some of you selected option A. So let me just clarify that this is used to create a list. So when you use square brackets, then it is list. If you use curly brackets, then that is for dictionary. And in Python, we never use something like this. Means in for a list or a dictionary. This is for something else called, let's say it's called tuple. So you use this thing for tuples. It's like another oh yeah, someone in the chat box is saying. And another use of parenthesis in Python. So let me just tell you what the other uses of this is. So square brackets are used for lists and for indexing. indexing meaning if you have a list, let's say you have some list like this. So you have this list of some numbers, and if you want to access one particular element, let's say you want to access this particular element from the list, then you would use like this. So square brackets are used for indexing, curly brackets for creating a dictionary, and parenthesis is for tuples. And also parenthesis is also used for definitely for tuples and also for functions. Whenever you call a function, for example, you write print and then inside parenthesis you say, let's say, hi or whatever. So parenthesis is used for calling of functions. Okay, so yeah, that is the use of parenthesis. And for function calling functions, either built-in or user defined. So some people, okay, let me see what's happening in the chat box. Someone is saying, I said we want particular line to print, so the other line that does not I want to print, we use triple quote. I am confused as to what this question is. Bala, can you just unmute yourself and ask what is your question? So I think, Bala, you have probably understood it properly. I'm not sure exactly what your context is, but indeed, triple quotes are used for making something a comment. So whenever you write something between a pair of triple quotes, then that becomes a comment, and comments are not executed in codes. So if you comment out certain sections of the code, then that will not be executed and it will skip the comment and go to the next line, which is not a comment, if this is what you wanted to know. Nalini is saying screen is not clear. Okay, let me try reconnecting something. Okay, to me it appears clear. Nalini, I would suggest to everyone who is over here and is facing some issues with the screen quality. It turns out that on YouTube the screen quality is not at all a problem. So if you are facing any of these issues, then please, I would suggest that you open up YouTube separately and watch this live stream on YouTube. There also this is happening. So I'm not unsure as to why the screen is not clear. It's appearing fine to me. And Wi-Fi is fine. Okay, next week I will try something else. Okay, some other technique of connecting my screen. Maybe that way I can do something better.
Ma'am, now it's clear.
Okay, now it's clear. Okay, fine. Yeah, but maybe I think some students keep on facing this issue and I do not really understand why. And on YouTube, the quality comes out to be fine, like no problem. So maybe I will try something personally and I will try and see if this problem can be fixed for everyone. Anyway, let's move to the next question. What is the correct statement about dictionaries? Okay, so again, let me start our poll. Okay, I've started a poll. So we need to select the correct statement about dictionaries. First option is there can be multiple same keys. This means that same key name you can use multiple times or not. Second option is every value must be unique. That means if you are assigning one value to a key, then you cannot use that value for other keys. Third statement is every key must be unique. And the fourth one is we can't get every key from the dictionary. So these are the four options. Take a minute to solve this and then we will discuss. Okay, I hope people have answered. Okay, so let me close the poll. Okay, let me now share the results of the poll. So most of you have got it right. So correct answer is option C. Every key must be unique. And let me talk about the other statements as well and why those statements are incorrect. So first one says there can be multiple same keys. This is wrong. You can use one key only once. That's why option C is correct, that every key must be unique. Then option B says every value must be unique. This is incorrect. You can have same value for two different keys. So this is an incorrect option. So let me write it down. So for dictionary, you need a unique key. That means one key uh, can't have two values. Then for values can be same for different keys. This means two keys can have same values. Okay, so this is about keys and values in dictionaries. Okay, next question. Let me relaunch the poll. Okay, so this is another question on dictionary. This is about the various functions that can be used for accessing different things in a dictionary. So this question is, what is the correct syntax to get all the keys and only the keys from a dictionary named D? So if we want to access the keys of a dictionary, then what do we basically use? What is the command? So again, take a minute to solve this. Okay, let me now stop the poll. So most of you have got it right. So the correct option is indeed option D. If there is a dictionary called D, then the command used to extract all the keys from a dictionary and only the keys, nothing else, is D dot keys. So the other commands, if we see, so D dot values, this is used for extracting all the values, and D dot items, this is used for extracting both keys and values. Okay, so the output of this comes out to be something like, so it will come out like this. So if you run it in the console, so the output is like, it will give you key 1, value 1 for that key 1. Then it will give you key 2, then value 2, and so on and so forth. No, based on how many keys you have. And so someone was asking what a tuple is. So this is a tuple. Inside parenthesis, what you have is what is called a tuple. Okay, great. So we will proceed further. Okay.
Ma'am, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
If not possible to attend these live sessions in the next coming weeks due to some reasons, and if we are watching the YouTube channel, is there any attendance for these live sessions or?
No, there is absolutely no attendance. This is completely voluntary. Like if you want to attend, if you need some help, only then you are supposed to attend this. There is no attendance, no marks for attendance.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. So if you have some issues and you are not able to attend, no worries. If you want to have a recording of this video, definitely you will get it on the YouTube channel. So every recording is posted over there. And if you have some questions for this particular week, you can ask on the YouTube channel, on the discussion forum, or send me a personal email.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so let us go to the next question. Okay, so the next question is asking the output of the different codes. And so this question says, what will be the output of the following code? So here there is a code. Let me zoom in a little bit if you are not able to see. So this is the code that we have. So, and I will start the poll again. So you need to guess the output of this poll. So first try to guess it on your own by pen and paper, and if not, then we will run it in Spyder. So every time you are supposed to guess the output of some code, I strongly suggest that you basically try it on your own with pen and paper, and if not, then you can copy the code and paste it in Spyder and run it over there. Okay, so take a minute. Okay, I will stop the poll. So yeah, most of you got this correct. Let me get zoom out. So the correct option is option A, because here the this thing is print d dot values. That means it will print out the values. Now what are the values? So these are the values, 20 and 30 inside inverted quotes. So that's why the output is 20 and 30 inside quotes. So that's that. Then another question based on guessing the output of the code. This time, instead of d dot values, the question says that we need to find out the output if instead of d dot values we use d dot items. Okay, so try it out. Okay, so let me now stop the poll. So the correct answer here is option C. Option C, let me zoom out back again. So some people selected option A. This will be the answer if we use d dot keys. And this will be Option B will be for D dot values. Okay. And option C is for D dot items. So these are the basically 3 different commands that you can use for accessing different elements in a dictionary. Okay, next question. This question has a little bit more statements. So this is also trying to find out the output of a given code. So here we are using the string library. Okay, so the code is, let me relaunch the port so that as and when people solve this, people can start answering. So this is import string, then we initialize a dictionary bags, then we have a variable name which is storing this string.ascii letters, and then we have a for loop, and then we are printing bags. So you need to find out the output. So take a minute to solve this, then I will give you the answer. So try it out first think about it, and if not, then we will run it in Spyder. Okay, all of you, please try to answer. Okay, so I will stop the poll now. Okay, so there is roughly equal division in A and B. Some people select A, some people selected B. So the correct answer to this is B. Okay, for question number 6. So what is happening in this? So once you initialize a dictionary, so here a dictionary has been initialized. This is initializing a dictionary. Okay, then string.ascii letters stores all the alphabets starting from lowercase and then going up until uppercase. So that's alphabets. Okay, and it is stored in the form of a string. Then what is happening inside this for loop is we are basically, this is the key inside this bags dictionary, and then we are assigning this particular value to a particular key, and this we are doing for 20 times, that is I in range 20. Okay, so if you go in ASCII letters, which are alphabets, so 20th alphabet turns out to be T. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. So 20th alphabet is T. So in alphabets, 20th alphabet is nothing but T. Okay, lowercase t. So that's why your dictionary will have keys in the range A to T, and you are assigning the value 0 to all of them. So here the value 0 is being assigned. So that's why option B is correct, that it will create a dictionary with keys from A to T, and each of those keys will have the value 0. Okay. Some people selected option A. So for that, I would say that option A is incorrect, because you are using this name, basically this name variable, and accessing the elements, the 20 elements from this name variable, which is basically a string of alphabets. So it is not a list of numbers. This is a string of alphabets. Okay, so that solves this question. And we are ready to move to the next question. Okay, next question is also somewhat similar. This says, what does the following code mimic, or basically what is the output of the following code? And the code is somewhat similar to the previous code. Like here also we are using the string library and accessing ASCII letters from the string library, and then we have initialized a dictionary, and then we are assigning some keys and values to the dictionary. So we need to select the correct option, and then here random library is also being used. So take a minute to solve this, and then we will try solving this, and then we will try running it in Spyder as well. So think carefully. So take a few more seconds, then I will close the poll. Okay, so let me now stop the poll. So most of you have selected the correct option, and that is option C. So what is this code doing is it's basically taking 1,000 numbers, or here it's trying to mimic something real world. So 1,000 marbles. Why 1,000? Because of this range 1,000 over here. So this range 1,000 will scan through 1,000 numbers, and then randomly you are selecting the bags. Okay, why randomly? Because of this random dot choice. So this code tells you that there are 1,000 items to be placed, and this line tells you that the choice is randomized. Okay, so that's how you can conclude that you have 1,000 marbles being randomly distributed in the bags that are there. So let me now run this code in Spyder also for you. Then that way you will get a better idea of what this is about. So before that, someone is asking in the chat box, exams are in MCQ type or writing programming type? So as you must be seeing in this in every week, you have some MCQ questions, basically 10 MCQ questions, and then you have a few programming assignments, like 3 programming assignments. So this is how your exams are going to be. You will have some MCQ questions and you will have some programming as well. So this is a course on programming, so you definitely cannot get away with just solving MCQ. So you need to write code. That is the main aim of this course, that is to make you understand how to write code. So of course you will have MCQ as well as programming. Okay, so we have not moved on to question 8, so please wait until we go to question 8, then I will do something about it. Right now we are on question 7 as well still. So let me write down this piece of code in Spyder, And let us try and execute this piece of code, since some people did not get this right. Let me try and run it in Spyder. Okay, so here is Spyder. Okay, before we proceed, some people had asked, I think Mohit and Bala had asked questions about what is the role of end equal to and \n. So I have this piece of code over here, and I will show you what happens when I keep this end equal to and when I do not keep this end equal to. Okay, so if I just run this part, then you see this is the output of the code. Okay, I'm just printing something inside the for loop, and it is printing every iteration in a new line. Now if I do this end equal to with a space, just see what happens. Now you see everything is in the same line with a space in between. Now if I remove this space in the quotes, if it is just quotes with no space, then see what happens. Then you see it is printed in the same line without any space in between. Okay, so that's the role of end equal to. So I hope that answers the question. And another question someone had asked was, what does \n do? Okay, for that I have an option over here, an example over here. So let's say I have this line. Okay, so let me comment this part, and if I run this, then you see everything coming in the same line. Hello everyone, how are you? Now if I put a \n after hello everyone and before how are you, then see what happens. Then you see it breaks the line exactly where I have kept the \n. It says hello everyone, and then in the next line it says how are you. Okay, so this is this. Let me now come to the code in the question, which was on strings. So let me just copy paste this code. I'm doing this because some people got it wrong, so I want everyone to understand what's happening here. So we have imported our libraries, and then we are using the string library here in the form of this ASCII underscore letters. Oh, sorry. Then we have a for loop. Here we are assigning some keys and some values to the dictionary. Then we have another for loop, which goes to 1000. Okay, so it is randomly selecting one key from the list of keys. And then for that particular key, we are updating the value of that key. Okay, so this is the exact code that is there for the question. And let me now run this. Oh, sorry, there is some error. Oh, I have written something crazy over here. Pardon me. Okay, this is correct. Okay, so this code has executed. Now if I can print what my bags is. So here is my bags. It has basically 20 because we are going from range 20. That's why it has 20 keys going from A up until T, because 20th alphabet is T. And then randomly these values are being assigned. You see, these are all some randomized numbers, where using this random we are assigning, and we are running this 1,000 times. So 1,000 times we are assigning, like this loop is running 1,000 times, and each time we are randomly selecting one of the key and incrementing that value of that key. Okay, if I just print name, you see this is what name is. Name is basically all the English alphabets, lowercase as well as uppercase. Okay, so ASCII underscore letters has access. Basically, it gives you a string which has 26 lowercase alphabets as well as 26 uppercase alphabets. So that is what is there in ASCII underscore letters. And if I want to know the values, okay, then how do I do? Bags dot values. This is what I will do. I can convert it to a list. Okay, this is the list, and then I can do sum of this. Okay, let me do sum. Then you see sum of all the values is 1,000. So that's what we are saying, that it is taking these 1,000 marbles and randomly distributing these 1,000 marbles into 20 bags named ABCD up until T. So this is what this code is doing. I hope this is now clear. So let us come back to our assignment. Okay, so this was this. Let me just reiterate that this ASCII letters is alphabets, and it is starts from lowercase A B C D up until Z, and then uppercase A B C D up until Z. Okay, now question 8, options are not visible. Okay, anyway, question 8, let me read out question 8. So question 8 says, what is the correct code to choose rock, paper or scissors correctly? So if it is not visible properly, let me zoom in a little bit first to option A and B. You can take screenshots of it and then solve it. Okay, let me start the poll first. So these are options A and B. You may take a screenshot of it. Then I will show you option C and D. Now this is option C and D. For those of you who are not finding it clear, I have zoomed in so that you can take a screenshot of it, and take a screenshot of it for option C and D, then take a screenshot for option A and B, and then select the correct option. I have started the poll and I will zoom out a little bit. So for those of you who are on YouTube, there you will see it clearly and you will see all the options in one place. Yeah, take a minute to solve this. Okay, now I will stop the poll. Okay, so surprisingly, very few of you, surprisingly, none of you got this correct actually. None of you selected this option. Let me share the results of the poll. So the correct option is option D, which none of you selected. So let me zoom into option D and show you why this option D is correct. So yeah, this is the correct option. So the question was, which of the following, which is the correct code to choose rock, paper or scissors correctly, okay? And this is the correct option. So what is happening here is, we have some keys. So this part is key, this part is value. So we have three keys, 0, 1 and 2, and we are assigning the values rock, paper and scissors respectively to these keys. Then we are basically taking the input from the user. Now input returns in string. Okay, so that's why we are using int command to convert string to an integer. Okay, so user will enter 0, 1 or 2, but that will be taken as a string 0 or a string 0 or a string 1 or string 2. And that string will be converted into integer by this int function. And then the choice would be, so the particular this thing will be choice modulo 3. So now modulo operator, what does modulo do? Modulo gives you remainder. Okay, so whenever you divide something by 3, then the remainder can be 0, 1 or 2. Okay, so if user is entering any number, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is the number that the user has given as an input, then it will take that, convert it into an integer, divide it by 3 and take the remainder. Remainder can be 0, 1 and 2. And then the choice will be corresponding to this 0, 1 or 2. That means either rock, paper or scissors. So this is the correct option. So what is it this doing is, this will give you the value of the basically either rock or paper or scissors. So since nobody got this thing right, let me run this thing for all of you in Spyder. So that it becomes clear. I'll remove all of this. So we have a dictionary. So this dictionary is having 3 entries, 3 keys. So this is our dictionary. Then we are taking an input from the user, and then we are deciding the choice of the user from the dictionary. So this is the code. Let me run it. And here let me print a message, enter a number. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, so enter a number. Let's say I enter the number 5. Okay, oh sorry, I should print the game choice as well. Let me print game choice so that you know what the selected choice is. Okay, again, enter a number. So I select 5. So my choice is scissors. And this is correct. Why? Because 5 modulo 3 is nothing but 2. Okay, 2 is the remainder when we divide 5 by 3. And if you see 2 here, then 2 is for scissors. Let us do it once again. This time let me enter a number 60. So my choice is rock. Why? Because 60 is divisible by 3. So the remainder of 60 divided by 3 will be 0. See, this is 0. And on 0, we have the value rock. So my choice becomes rock. I hope now this is clear. And we will come back to our set of questions. Then towards the end of the lectures, we had seen binary search and bubble sort. So now we have some questions based on binary search. So this is a question on binary search. I will relaunch the poll for all of you. So the question is, binary search is applicable in option A, unsorted list, option B, only in the list sorted in ascending order, option C is only in the list sorted in descending order, and option D is any sorted list. These so many MCQ questions are making me feel as if some kaun banega karodpati is going on. Only thing is, none of you will get any money over here. You will only get knowledge. Okay, so I will stop the poll. The correct option is that binary search is applicable in any sorted list. The list need not be ascending order or descending order. Only your condition checking will change, that instead of less than equal to, you might search greater than equal to. So it just needs to be a sorted list. It can be ascending order or descending order. That is not important. So nice. Oh, someone is asking, ma'am, can we execute the programs in exam? Okay, this I am not sure of, frankly speaking. Sai is asking this question. So, Sai, I am not sure if you can execute these programs in exam. The exams will be in some center, and I do not know how they have planned to provide you access to some programming console. You please put it up on the discussion forum, and even I will contact the NPTEL team, and then I can help you in this. So regarding these exam logistics, I'm sorry, I'm not much aware of them. Okay, next question. This is question 10. What will be the output of the following code? Okay, let me zoom in a little bit, and I will restart the poll. So what will be the output of the following code? So here is a piece of code. It is having two nested for loops, and then an if condition, and based on that if condition, some statements are being executed, and you need to decide what is the output of this code, provided this function is called. Okay, I will now stop the poll. So it is 50-50. 50% people have selected option A, 50% people have selected option B. The correct option over here is option B. So it gives the largest element of the list and not the first element of the list. So of the initial list, sorry. So option A says first element of the initial list. Initial list means what we provide to the function. So this 0, index 0 indeed means the first element, but this is first element of the list after it has undergone these changes. Okay, and the first element turns out to be, for this case, the largest element of the list. So it is the first element, but not of the initial list, of the list which is modified according to these set of rules, which happens to be the largest element of the list. So since 50% people did not get this right, I will run this again in Spyder so that you can convince yourself that this option B is indeed the correct option. So let me write down this code. So we have a function which, oh sorry, I should not use. Okay, so sorry, this is the function which takes a list as an input. Then we have for loops. Sorry, not -2, -1. Then we have another for loop. It's a nested for loop. Then we have an if condition. And then a set of rules. I'm just copying the code. And then we come out of the if, of the for, of the other for, and then we print. Okay, so this is the code, and then we need to call the function. So let us have a list. Let me say okay, let's say I have a list like this, and then I call the function. Fine, so let us now run this, and you see the output is 9, which is the largest element in this. The largest element is 9. The output is not 3, which is the first element of the initial list, but the output is 9. And now if I print list, you see this list has been sorted in descending order. So our original list was unsorted, and then after running this test function, it sorts the list in descending order. So now the first element is the largest element of the list. So next question. What is the correct way to initialize a dictionary? So now we have seen a lot on dictionaries. We have seen in the beginning of today's session some basic questions on dictionaries, and we even ran some codes in Spyder. So now I think you would be expert in dictionaries and you would be able to solve this question really well. So I will relaunch the poll and I hope everyone will get it right this time. So you have a few more seconds. Okay, great. So most of you got it right. The correct option is option D. Note that option C is incorrect and so are the other options, but in particular option C and option D, the difference is in the use of quotes. So whenever you are using just characters like A, B, C, D and so on, then those are characters which need to go inside quotes. Okay. And if it is just numbers, then you can use without quotes. So I will show you if I have some example over here. So yeah, see this. See this? This is how the dictionary is initialized. A inside quotes, B inside quotes, C inside quotes. So whenever you're using just characters, then those need to be inside quotes. And whenever you have just numbers, so here in this rock, paper, scissors, you see this? These are just numbers. So when you have just numbers like 0, 1, 2, then they need not be inside the quotes. But when you have characters like A, B, C, D, then they need to be inside the quotes. Okay, so we have a few more questions now. Okay, this is a true false type question based on the Monty Hall problem that was discussed in this week. So let me start the true false poll. So the polls, this is the question which says state true or false. In the Monty Hall problem, swapping the choice does not increase the chance of winning. Is this statement true or is this statement false? So take a minute. And then I will discuss the answer. So all of you, please try to answer this question. It's a true false, simple true false question. It's you have to select either true or false. All of you try to answer the question. I see some of you have still not attempted the poll. Okay, a few more seconds. Fine, now I will stop the poll. And let me share the answers. So I'm a little surprised that most of you have selected true as the option. The correct option is false, and the instructors have discussed this at length in this week. So I'm a little bit sad looking at this response. I feel that students are not watching the lectures, maybe. So, my suggestion to all of you is please do watch all the videos that are there. Even if you are not new to Python, like even if, let's say, you have had some exposure to programming beforehand, my suggestion to all of you still would be to watch all the videos that are there. Uh, Personally, for me, I watch all the videos before coming to these live sessions. Okay, so even though I've been working with Python for quite a few years now, and I'm using Python for my research work, but even then I watch all the videos that are there in the current week, all the videos made by the instructors, and only then I come to the live sessions. So please, it's a request that whether or not you are completely new to Python, you should make it a point to watch all the videos. So let me state what the Monty Hall problem is, and let me tell you what the best strategy for winning in the Monty Hall problem is. So in Monty Hall problem, we have 3 doors. Okay, this is like my best attempt at making doors. Let me try and redraw. Okay, so we have 3 doors in Monty Hall problem, and then there is a prize kept in one of the doors, and the other doors are empty. Empty, or you have goats in those doors. Either way you can think of it. So your aim is to win this prize. Okay, you want to win this prize that is there in one of the doors. Now, what happens is, let's in Monty Hall problem, what happens is, uh, the host will ask you to select one of the doors which you think might have the prize. So let's say I select one of the doors, then the host will open up one door which does not contain the prize. And after opening that door which does not contain the prize, the host will then give me the choice of swapping my selection. So let's say I selected one particular door. Let's say I selected door 2. Let's say I select this door. Okay. Then the host will open up this door for me and show that this door does not have the prize in it. And then the host will give me the option of making a swap, whether I want to select with whether I want to stay with my selection of door 2, or whether I want to make a swap and come to door 1. So this is the Monty Hall problem, and it turns out that making a swap has a higher probability of making me win the prize. And how the probability goes is as follows. So probability of selecting a door with the prize initially, like the first step, is 1/3. Okay, so I have like 33% chance of selecting the correct door with the prize in the first go. And then if I swap, then swapping will make me lose. Because I already selected the door which has a prize, and then the host gives me the option to swap, and I make a swap, then I will come from a door which has a prize to a door which is empty. So that way I will lose. But probability of selecting an empty door is 2/3. And in this case, swapping will lead to victory. Because as you saw, I selected door 2, then the host will open up a door which does not contain the prize. So that has to be door 3. And once he has opened up door 3, he will give me the option of making a swap. And if I make a swap to door 1, I will definitely win. So every time, if my first selection, if my initial selection is an empty door, and then if I make a swap, I will win. So it turns out that swapping has 2/3 or roughly 66% chance of winning. So every time you swap, you have 66% chance of winning. And if you do not swap, you have only 33% chance of winning. So that's Monty Hall problem for all of you. I hope now you understand what this problem is and why you should always make a swap that will uh, have higher chances of winning. Okay. Next question on dictionaries. Again, this is just a revision. By now, I believe all of you would know how to use a dictionary. So, quickly, in 30 seconds, tell me the answer to this question. In dictionaries, D dot items will return what? Pairs of all key value together, all keys and all values separately, all values and keys separately, or pairs of all value comma key together. Okay, so I'll stop the poll now. So the correct option is option A, all key comma value together. Okay, note the order is important. So first you will see key, and then the second element in the tuple would be value. So it will be like key comma value. This will be your tuple and not the other way around. So in option A and D, the only difference was the order. So you have to take care of the order as well. Next question. What will be the output of the following program? So again, you need to guess the output of the code. It's quite similar to some of the questions that we have seen earlier in today's session. So I hope you will be able to solve it. Let me relaunch the poll. So all of you, please answer the poll. I see some of you are not answering the poll. Please try to answer the poll. It is a good exercise. It will help all of you. Okay, great. So quite a lot of you have answered the poll. Okay, so the correct answer is option D. I see only one student selected this option. So now let me explain this. So ASCII underscore lowercase will have alphabets in the lowercase. So lower case alphabets. Okay. Then there is a loop which runs 26 times for I in range 26. So this loop will run 26 times. And then we are selecting a random number between 0 and 25. So random number out of these 26 options that we have. Okay. So what is happening here is that we are randomly assigning these values to some keys. That is, only some letters are taken as keys and we are assigning some random numbers to them as values. Now, why only some letters? This is important. It's not all letters. We are not scanning through all letters. See what is happening over here. Okay, we are selecting index randomly from this random int. Then what we are doing is we are creating this particular key with this index. So a index we are taking and we are creating that key, and the value assigned to that key is the original value plus 1. But if that key does not exist, then we have this exception key error. If the key does not exist. So you notice that this loop is running 26 times, but there will be some cases where the key is not existing. And in those cases, it will create a key and assign the value 0. So, and randomly a number is chosen. So that means you can have the same number chosen 2 or 3 times because it's a random number generator. It need not scan from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like this. It will randomly select a number, let's say 10, then 15, then 13, then 10 again, then 5, like this. So every time it uh, randomly generates a number which had already previously been generated, then you are adding, you're incrementing over here the value for that particular key which is repeated, means of for which the repeated random number is generated. If all of this is sounding so complicated, I will write this code in Spyder, then I hope it will become clearer. So we need to import string and we need to import a random. We are selecting only the lower case alphabets. Then we are initializing a dictionary and then a loop which runs 26 times. And randomly we are selecting a random number. And then we will print the dictionary. Okay, so let me run. Oh, sorry, I have done something crazy here. Now it is fine. So you see, only some letters are being selected. Okay, so if you look at the number of keys, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17, only 17 keys are being selected. And what is happening is, you see this W has the value 2, T has the value 2. All these numbers which are having value 2 are because of the repeated random number that was generated by this random.rand int. So every time there is a repetition, even this 1, so this 2 means it has been repeated like 3 times, because first time the key was not there. So when the key is not there, so sorry, I should have written key error. What is the exception? But default error exception is key error. So when the key is not present, then you have this exception, then you create a key. And if the same random number is generated once again, then you will have 0 plus 1, that is 1. So all of these are when the random numbers have been generated, all of the places which has 1 as the value, then for that the particular random number was repeated twice. And every place that you have 2 as the value, then that was repeated thrice. So you see, all the alphabets are not used as keys over here. Only some alphabets are used as keys, and some random numbers are assigned to them as values. Okay. Now, last two questions, which are really simple. Which error is encountered while accessing a position that is not present in a list? So the correct option is index error. So when you do not have a particular index in a list, then index error is generated. Key error is for dictionaries, not for list. For dictionary, when the key is not present. We just saw in this example this key error exception. So key error exception is when the key is not present. Okay, last question. Let me do this poll one last time for today. This is the last MCQ question. Then we have 3 programming problems. Okay, so let me stop the poll now. So the correct option is option B. Sorry, not B. My bad. Option A is the correct option. Most of you have selected B, but that is not correct. Option A, very few people selected, but that is the correct option. D.pop is used to delete the key from a dictionary. That's the syntax. Okay. So this brings us to the end of the MCQ questions that we have. These MCQ questions would be beneficial for this particular week. And then now we will move to the programming. Okay, so some people had selected remove, but remove function is used for list. Okay, and pop is used for dictionary. So this is the difference. Remove is only for list. Fine. So that's the end of today's polls. Now we will come to programming. So the first question is, you are given a string S. Write a function count letters which will return a dictionary containing letters including special characters. So special characters means exclamation mark, colons, hyphens, uh, basically all these special character, ampersand, asterisk. So all these are special characters. So they are also supposed to be included in the string. And we need to return, we need to have the values for those keys as the number of times those keys are or those characters or those alphabets are occurring in the given string. So I will write the code for you. I suggest that simultaneously all of you try to think about this and try to write a code on your own, and then we will run it in Spyder. So it says we need to write a function count letters. So how do we define a function? We use def keyword, and then function name is supposed to be count letters. So this should take the string S as the input, this string S. And then we need to create a dictionary. So we will initialize a dictionary. And then we will scan the string by this for loop. And we will create a key. We will create as many keys as it is as those characters which are there in S, and we will assign the value 0 to them for those keys. Then we need to count them. So we will again scan the string, and this time we will increment those value counts by 1 every time it is encountered again. And then finally we will return the dictionary, and then we will call. So we need to have input for the string, and then we will call the function. So we will basically call the function, and this will give us the dictionary. So let me write it down in Spyder. So here is our function. We are initializing the dictionary. Then we are incrementing the counts by this second for loop. And finally, we will return the dictionary. And then we will call the function and print the output. Okay, so let us run the code. So it asks us to enter any string. So let's say I want to enter string. And then it gives me this output. See all the letters or characters in the string. S appears 1, T appears 1, R1, I1, N1, G1. So this is not a very good example because everything is occurring once. So let me rerun the thing. Do some of you have some suggestion? Okay, let's say hello. I want to see a hello. So you see L occurring 2 times. See this? This count is happening. L is occurring 2 times. Okay, so now let us try some special characters. So, hello. See, now it counts the exclamation mark also, the special character, and that occurs once, L occurs twice. Let's try one last. Let's say the course name, the joy of computing using Python. Okay, see this. T occurs capital T. So here it makes a distinction between uppercase and lowercase. So capital T occurs once and lowercase t. You see here in computing and in Python, lowercase t occurs. So 2 times the lowercase t occurs. So this makes a distinction between uppercase and lowercase letters as well. So in Python, uppercase and lowercase are different. Python is a case sensitive language. So uppercase will be treated differently from the lowercase. Then you see, let's say, space also as a special character. And you see 5 spaces. So there is 1 space between the and joy. Then second space between joy and off. Then third space between off and computing. Fourth between computing and using. And fifth space between using and Python. So it counts this spaces also. See, the spaces is being counted over here. O occurs 4 times. So O is in joy, is in off, is in computing, and is in Python. So 4 times. So that's how this is counting. Let me try one last. So let me try my name. Let me see how many characters are there in my name. So see, capital R occurs once. You see, lowercase r is there, but it is taking it as differently. Okay. So if I write my name in lowercase, then it will count all the letters like so. Now it says R occurs twice because everything is in lowercase. But if I write in uppercase and lowercase, it says uppercase R is once and then lowercase r is once. But if I write everything in lowercase, then it says R occurs twice. So this solves the first question. Let's go to the second one. Second one is, you are given a list L, write a function unique with a unique spelling, it has double E, which will return a list of unique elements in the list L in sorted order. Okay, so the aim is that it takes a list. The list can have repeated elements and then it will tell you what are the unique elements, like the elements which occur only once. Okay, so unique elements means those which are occurring exactly once, and then sort them and display it in the sorted order. So let me write down the code. So again, we define a function which takes the list L as the input. Then we have a dictionary. Then we will scan all the elements of the given list and put those as the keys in the dictionary. Similar to the above example, similar to this part of the code, this is same over here. because we are doing the same thing, counting. Then we have, let's say, a list called result. Then another for value. Notice this line. This line might look a little bit new to all of you, but it's just a for loop which scans the keys and values in the dictionary. And if the value occurs exactly once, then we will add them to our list. And then we will sort the list, and then we will return the list. Okay, this is the code. Let me write it in Spyder. So it's quite similar to the previous one. In the previous one, we were using strings. We were counting characters. We were counting characters. Here we will be counting numbers. So I can keep quite a lot of things the same. Then we have another for loop. And then we will sort. And here let me have a list. Let's say 5, 9, 2, 3, 2 again, 5 again, 0, 1, 8, and let's say what else? Let me keep 2 once again. Okay, now we will call the function. So let's see. See, we are getting a sorted list as the output, which contains only those numbers which occurred only once. Okay, so if I print the original list in a sorted manner, sorry, I should print it. Oh, sorry, I have eliminated, this thing is over here. It has been changed. Okay, sorry. Yeah, now see this. Now see, the digit 5 was occurring twice. Okay, 5 was, if I go over here, so 5 is occurring here and here. See, it is highlighted. I select one, then everywhere else where 5 is there, it gets highlighted in blue. So see, 5 is occurring 2 times. That's why 5 is not there in our output over here. Similarly, let's say 2. Okay, let me select 2. So see, 2 is occurring 3 times in this list. So that's why 2 is also not there in your output list. So all those elements which are repeated multiple number of times, they are not here in the list. And all those which are appearing exactly once are there in this list. Okay. I can maybe print it here for you. Oh, why it is not sorting? Okay, let me ignore this for the time being. Okay, so now we are left with one last question. So this is the last question for today's session, which says you are given a list L. Write a program to print first prime number encountered in the list L and treat all the numbers below and equal to 1 as non-prime. So we need to check if the number is prime, and whichever is the first prime number we need to display as the output. So now the algorithm for prime numbers is prime numbers. If you remember your high school maths, prime numbers means the only factors it has is 1 and the number itself. These are the only factors. It has no other factor. So that is a prime number. And the algorithm to check if a number is a prime number or not, you keep dividing it by all the numbers and keep checking if it has any factor other than 1 or the number itself. So but there is a faster algorithm. So let's say one algorithm can be, if I have a number n, then I divide this from all the numbers starting from 2, 3, keep on checking if these are factors or not up until n minus 1. This could be one algorithm, but this is very slow. Faster algorithm is, let's say if you have a number n, then you check for factors starting from 2 and 3 and you go up until square root of n. Whatever is the integer value closest to square root of n. So this square root of n plus 1 you will do to get the whatever the integer value, like the higher integer value. So this is the, sorry, not plus 1 means you'll select. So if whatever square root, if the square root n is some, it will be some decimal, then you will select the closest integer which is higher than that square root value. So that's how you check for prime numbers. So I can now write down the code. So square root is there in a library called math. Then we will have a function which checks for prime. So if the number is less than equal to 1, then it is not a prime, so you will return false. If number is equal to 2, then it is a prime, you will return true. And for all the other numbers, you will have a for loop. So why int? Because we want to convert this to an integer, and then we do plus 1 because we want to go 1 higher. And if this number is a factor, then that means it is not a prime because you have found another factor which is other than the number itself and 1. So that means it is not a prime. And if this for loop runs entirely and it does not encounter any factor, then you will come to this line and then you will return true, because then that means your number is prime. It could not find any factor from this particular line here. And then you have a list L. So you will have some list L, and how you will check? You will check by a for loop. You will call this is prime function, and you will print it if it is a prime. And then once you print the first prime number, you will break from the loop and you will come out. And if it is not a prime, you will continue scanning all the elements. Okay, so let me write down in Spyder. So we need to import the math library. Then we define this function for checking prime. Two is a prime number. Sorry, return true. So square root of the number int of that plus 1. So this is the function. Then let us say we have a list, which is, let's say 1, 10, 9. So let's say 8, 9, 7, 3, 5, 11, 20. Okay. And then we will scan for each element in this list. If is prime k means if this results true. So if the result is true, then it will go to this if condition. Then we need to print. Else we need to continue. Okay, so let us run this. So you see it prints 7, which is the first prime number in this list. 3 is also a prime number, 5 is also a prime number, but they are not the first prime number. 1 is not prime, 10 is not prime, 8, 9 are not prime, 7 is the first prime number in the list. So that was all for today's session. We have come to the end of our session, where we discussed week 5 questions from the previous year and programming assignments as well. So finally, all of you can go to this YouTube channel and you will find all these videos on the YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe to it so that you are notified every time some video is uploaded. And each of these live sessions would be live streamed and uploaded on the YouTube channel, where you can go ahead and watch it at any point of time. So thank you very much, and we will meet next Saturday. So that's all for today's session. Bye everyone. Yeah, thank you. So all of you can leave the meeting now. The session is over, unless if you have some doubt. Yeah, thank you.